I think we are live now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to GESAM's webinar commemorating the Gambia's 60th anniversary of our independence. Some would call it a diamond jubilee, but I prefer to not call it that way. It's quite fancy for me. Well, anyway, the webinar is themed National Development as a shared responsibility between youth and the government. Okay, first, I think I talked too soon. We are going to go with the national anthem first.
Mm,
Um, Assalamu alaikum, viewers, and good evening, and welcome to the Gassam Gambia at 60 Independence Day webinar. From wherever you are watching us, you are welcome to the program. Um, this program is themed Youth and National Development as a share. I mean, national development as a shared responsibility between youth and the government. I am our Kante, and I will be your host for this program. We also had the pleasure of having Mr. Basiru J as our guest for today's program. Mr. Basiru J, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Awa. Thank you so much, viewers. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us here. We know your time is definitely very valuable, but you created time for us to be on this program. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, before we get into the program proper, we are going to let Mr. J introduce himself to our viewers. We know most of you might know him, but we might still have some people who do not really know you. So please introduce yourself to our viewers.
All right. Thank you so much, Awa. My name is Basiru J. By the way, today is my birthday, and happy independence to every Gambian out there. I'm a passionate youth leader dedicated to advocacy, policy engagement, and national development. My journey began with grassroots activism, where I work with young people to create opportunities for skill development in civic engagement, leadership. And over the years, I've collaborated with national and international organizations, amplifying the voices of young people and championing policies that empower youth.
Thank you very much for that. Was very brief, and I kind of liked it because I was afraid you were going to take a lot of time introducing yourself. But that was great. Thank you very much. Just to remind the viewers, whether you're watching us from Facebook or YouTube, you can participate in the discussion by leaving us your questions, and our guest will be sure to respond to them, inshallah. Moving on, Mr. J, we are starting with an icebreaker question. So, if you could describe the Gambia today at 60 years of independence in just 3 words, what would it be and why?
Wow. Okay. To me, I will say resilient, because despite the challenges we have faced as a nation, like Gambians continue to push forward. And another word I will say evolving, yeah, because our youth are increasingly taking charge in different sectors, driving change and innovation. And the last one I will go for hopeful. Yeah, because I strongly believe in the potential of our young people and the possibilities that lie ahead of our country. I think these three words will really make me to reflect resilient, evolving, and then hopeful. Yeah.
Wow, Mr. J's 3 word description for the Gambia at 60: resilient, um, evolving, and hopeful. I hope this resonates with some of our viewers. Personally, I think it really does a good job in these 3 words. Definitely do a good job in describing the Gambia as we
Mhm.
know it today. Thank you very much for that. My next question is going to be about you. What inspired your work in youth empowerment and in extension national development?
All right. Thank you. I always say this anywhere I go. Martin Luther King has a dream, but me, I have a dream for young Africans.
Mhm.
And I always say this in every platform that I go to, that I have a dream where every young person is not a passive observer of progress, but an active driver of change. My inspiration come from, seeing the untapped potential in our young people. I grew up witnessing the struggles of youth, employment, lack of access to education and limited opportunities. But I also saw the resilience and the innovation. This has pushed me to take action, ensuring that
Mm,
every young person are not just had, but are actively involved in shaping their future.
mm,
Thereby saying that, I cannot just sit and watch things go the other way. If
mm.
I know what I'm doing is a little bit effort, but I think if everyone is doing one thing or the other, I think collectively we can make or empower the young people in this country.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. J. I believe what you do in terms of youth empowerment and by extension national development, how involved you are, has been seen by basically everyone. I do not think there is any Gambian that uh, maybe if they did not see you, they've heard about you, they've seen you in platforms, they've seen you actively involved in anything that has to do with youth empowerment and national development as a whole, basically.
Mhm.
So thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
On to the next question. How do young people contribute to in the Gambian context? How do young people contribute to national development aside politics? So we are going to remove politics from the whole from this question, because I realize when you talk about national development, I mean youth involvement in national development, you hear people say, "Oh, but youth are not involved in politics, or youth
Mhm.
are not given the opportunity to get into politics, or maybe youth are not voted into political institutions." So now we're going to remove politics from this question and talk about how young people can contribute are contributing in the Gambia to national development aside politics.
That's a very nice question, which I always love, because I believe as a young person, every young person in the Gambia or beyond, like for example, what you're doing today, you are on this important day of this country, you're holding this webinar. You know, it is showing that the passion you have for national development, and then we understand that young people drive national development in various ways. Through entrepreneurship, through social activism, you know, innovation and volunteerism. We have understand that many youth in the Gambia are leading businesses, launching tech startup, engaging in community service and tackling social issues such as, climate change and gender equality. Their contributions go beyond political engagement, and this extend into every aspect of our society, whether you are a teacher teaching, whether you are a farmer out there farming, or you are making or changing the life of every young person, you are contributing in one way or the other to national development. Just know that in whatever sector in which you might find yourself into, you are contributing to national development. If it is a fraction, but it is important collectively. Young people are amazing. Young people of the Gambia, they are really amazing. They are doing extremely well in the Gambia and beyond. We have seen you people, what you're doing outside there. We really appreciate everything. I think these are the ways in which young people are, contributing to national development in their different sectors.
Thank you, Mr. J. And viewers, we've had it. Whatever you do, to contribute to it does not really have to be politics. I don't know, I kind of I always say this: people, you don't have to be president or national assembly member or
Mhm.
whatever to really contribute to national development as a youth. Whatever you do, be it skills development, be it, like you said, a tech startup. Well, I am a passionate tech young person, by the way. So I
Oh,
loved when you said that. Yeah,
Amazing.
whatever you do as a youth that you think contributes to national development in your own way,
Hmm.
keep doing it. Just keep
Yeah.
doing it. Just as a reminder, if you're just joining us, this is the Gassam Gambia at 60 Independence Day webinar, and we have Mr. Masiri J here. We all know him. And also we've just been joined by my co-host, Mr. Abubakar, the
Hmm.
president, current president of Gassam.
Oh, amazing.
You're welcome, Mr. Saul.
Yeah. Welcome, Mr.
yeah,
So.
thank you so much. Thank you, Basir, and we are honored to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the questions, and I think it's really an exciting topic that the role of the youth are really important because the youth are the futures of the nation. So it
Hmm.
really needs to invest in the youth and make sure that the youth are on the right track because we are the future. Tomorrow
Yeah,
will be lead our nation. So we should not just run away when things are tough, but we should
that's
stand
right.
together and look for solutions to our problems.
Hmm. Hmm. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. So. And
Thank
we
you so
can
much.
see Gassam is definitely not running away from Gambia's problem.
Of course.
We see that you organizing a program like this on a day like this is definitely very crucial. And these platforms like these are, in fact, a way of contributing to national development itself. So thank you very much for this initiative. We know Gassam have been actually organizing programs like this on literally every Independence Day. So this is
Hmm.
like a
Hmm.
custom in custom that we do, and hopefully the next executives to come will keep on doing it. Anyway, Mr. J, back to our discussion. Tell us some of the some examples of youth-led initiatives that you are aware of in the Gambia, whether you've participated in them or whether you just know about them, that have made a real impact on national development.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And before going back to the question, I'd like to, congratulate Abu Bakar and then the Gassam team. Gambian students in Morocco are extremely doing very well. And I think, yeah, I met them last year and I saw what they're doing. They're amazingly doing well, and they're representing the Gambian, flag out there in Morocco. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing. And going back to the question, yeah, I've participated in several youth-led initiatives that have, transformed communities in the Gambia. Program like Youth Connect. I am the focal point for Youth Connect Gambia, and then over the years we have really contributed to and changed the lives of some of the young people, especially young entrepreneurs. And there are initiatives that are within the National Youth Council. There are also other initiatives under the National Development Enterprise Initiative, NEDI. We all see what they're doing in terms of returnees and then migrants who are in this country. We have seen also the NYSS program, which was we have seen they have graduated over 100 graduates from the UTG, which is called the National Youth Service Graduate Program, and we have seen what the President International Award Scheme is doing as well, which is PIA, and other grassroots projects in agriculture. We have seen Gambia Songhai Initiative just recently. They have graduated over 88 young people who are into farming, and we also have also seen digital innovation have created employment and empowered many young Gambians. We have seen also youth organization addressing gender-based violence and climate action have also made significant, stride in this country. Hello? Hello? Hello.
Yeah, I think our host is facing some technical problems.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just to delve on what you were saying, I think these are really important things that are really necessary for the country. And we thank you so much for your service. We need people like you and more people like you in the country, at least, for our youth to be aware, to know that the national development is really important for the economic progress of our nation. So the youths, like you said, are the backbone of our nation. So without the
Mhm.
youths, we will not be able to do anything. And Gambia as a country, we all know, like through research, you will find that Gambia, like the youths, they cover like majority of the population are youths. So
Mhm.
youths are
Mhm.
really important in the economy and in the national development. So I think it's really important to involve the youth and also to create initiatives that can help the youth, see themselves as pioneers or like agents of change for the country instead of just looking for other ways to leave the country. Things like
Mhm.
going to the bad way and stuff like that, or engaging into drugs and so on. So I
Mhm.
think these are really important things that the government really needs to look into to help
Mhm.
the youth as a
Mhm.
nation.
Mhm.
Yeah. So our is back.
Thank you, Abakar, for holding down the fort while I experience some technical issues.
Mhm.
If you're just joining us, just a reminder that this is the Gassam Gambia at 60 Independence Day webinar. If you are joining us on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to join the discussion by leaving your comments and questions, which we will have our guest answer, inshallah. Mr. J, back to our discussion. I am sure
Mhm.
you. Anyway, I've been out for a few seconds, but
Mhm.
I see you guys have been. We're having a fruitful discussion.
Yeah.
Anyway, you talked about innovation and entrepreneurship. Now,
Mhm.
for youth out there that may not know how they can use entrepreneurship and innovation to actually
Mhm.
contribute to national development, how do you think youth can leverage entrepreneurship and innovation to contribute to national development?
Yeah, that's a very important question. I think in the current generation in the current era in which we are, there are two key things that are very important. That is innovation and entrepreneurship. Innovation and entrepreneurship, they are powerful tools for development, and young people should embrace technology regardless of any field in which you find yourself into. Technology is indispensable in this current generation. Explore new business models, create sustainable enterprises, with access to training. Uh, no matter what business you're doing, always have lifelong training, new methods, new models of business, um, access to funding and mentorship. Mentorship is also very important when we talk about innovation and then entrepreneurship. So with this, youth can transform challenges into opportunities, reducing unemployment and also fostering economic change, because we all cannot sit, we all, like you said in your earlier statement, we all cannot be presidents, we all cannot be ministers. We want to see young people who are well equipped, very skillful, that can drive national development. I think these are the means that we can leverage innovation and entrepreneurship to drive development. One key thing, mentorship, don't forget about it, access to training, exploring new business models and create sustainable enterprises. I think that is really important when we talk about innovation and entrepreneurship.
Thank you for that, Mr. J. I believe the saying that you cannot keep doing something the same way and expect different results. It's not just for maybe government institutions. When you go to social media, you see and hear you talk about how the Gambia government maybe doing something the same way and expecting different results.
Yes,
When you talk about national development, but I think this also applies to the youth wherever they are, whether you are in government institutions or whether you have your own private business or whether you are trying to learn a skill. You cannot do something the same way and expect to see different results. Like you said, innovation is very, very important. If you are doing something the same way over and over again, you're still going to have the same results. There is nothing that is going to change. And you also talked about entrepreneurship, which definitely goes hand in hand with innovation itself.
mhm,
So there's a lot that youth can do. There is so much potential in Gambian youths. If we just put it into action, I believe there
mhm,
is so much that is going to change in the Gambia even before the next independence. I am positive.
mhm, mhm.
Awaka, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask one question, just regarding the role of the government when it comes to youth empowerment. Gambia, as we know, we can see that like the impact of the youths in the development of the nation is really minimal. Like if
Mhm,
you check the economy of the country, like it's mostly dominated by foreigners. The
Mhm,
Gambians themselves are not really into some of these business sectors or some of these things that are really driving the economy of the country.
mhm,
So I wanted to ask, like, what are some of the, or are there any policies that the government is trying to put in place to help, youths or try to empower youths to become agents of change and agents of economic development for our country?
mhm.
Because
Yeah,
if you see like the current realities of the country, like if you go through social media and so on, it's not something that is hidden. Like you see that most of the youths are
mhm,
being discouraged. Maybe they don't know whether there are opportunities out there or things like that, or they are not aware of some policies or things that the government is putting in place for them.
mhm.
So if you can enlighten us on this, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that wonderful question. Yes, like I said in my earlier, uh, the three words that was giving, I think I've mentioned resilience, regardless
mhm,
of what the young people are facing in this country.
mhm,
They are very resilient, and yeah, we have understand. Like I always said, we have seen the National Labor Force Survey, which brings about 45.3% of the young people who are not in education, without skills, and not in employment. And that is a very alarming figure, regardless of whatsoever initiative is going on. And uh, it becomes a challenge. And some of the policies, I think, under the Ministry of Youth, we have what is called the National Youth Policy. But I think, regardless of why programs exist, gaps remain in implementation, accessibility, and sustainability. We have seen many young people struggle to access to
mhm,
funding, training, and mentorship. And to address this, I think the government should improve in transparency, expand their outreach, and partner with private sector actors to enhance youth empowerment. Because if you look at the country, the primary employer in this country is the government. So, and that part of,
mhm,
like, that phenomenon, it brings back the country, yeah, to its needs, because the private sector should be the primary employer in every nation. A serious country
mhm,
must have the private sector employing young people out there, but that also go hand in hand for the government to put a level playing field for everyone. You
mhm,
have talked about in terms of owning businesses, or
mhm,
like most of the big businesses are owned by foreigners. I think, yeah, if the government provide a level playing field for everyone, and especially for young people, I think it will really make the country to go towards the direction which we all are yearning for. Because young people, any country that ignores the inputs of the young people, that country is going towards another direction. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think the young people should not be neglected in every country because, like I said, they are the future of the nation. So, like you were also saying, I think we should not just have policies, but also we need to have action plans in place because, you know, coming out with policies is really easy. You can come down and write a lot of things, but then we need action plans. We need like things that are realistic, things that can be achievable for the nation. And we all know, like Gambia, we have like a very high rate of dropouts also at schools, you know. And sometimes these institutions also, like if you're not educated or you don't have some level of education, let's say a bachelor's degree or some level of education, you might
Mhm.
not be employed. And you as a youth, like you drop out, because some of them you can blame them for being dropped out, but some because they know that they cannot, learning is not for them. They cannot sit in class and learn. They don't pass exams. So but there are other ways I think we can help develop these people because I think for me, my personally, I believe that nobody is born stupid. Everybody has their own way and their own potential in one way or the other. And I
Mhm.
think these are things that the government really needs to look into. Like they should not just look at the educational sector, but also look at the skills sector because I think
Mhm.
Gambia, the youths are lacking a lot of skills that we really need for our country. Let's say, for example, like we need plumbers. To have a standard plumber in the Gambia is really difficult.
Mhm.
Electricians, we need mechanics also. Like you just see somebody will just go and open a corner and bring old cars and start doing things. Think these are really things that people really need to be trained by experts that are really good in these sectors. And the private sector also, like you said, I think it's also something that really needs to help in the economic development because
Mhm.
like you said, the government is the primary employer, and if the government is only employing, they're using the taxpayers' money to pay you
Mhm.
your salary. So it's like
That's
there's
right.
not much revenue that is being generated. But then, if you are in the private sector, those people will come with their own revenues. They come with their investments from outside, and then they will inject it in the economy. And
Mhm.
if they employ people, they will pay you, and that money is staying in the country. If you are paid, you buy your own piece of land. You know give out fish money and stuff like that. Everything is staying in the country. But if it is done by the government, it's like you give your taxpayers money, the government give it to you as a salary. You go and buy stuffs, and then it's still the same money that is still within the economy. So I think the private sector, like you said, is really important, and every country and every developed country really prioritize these private sectors, and they really empower their youths and the citizens of the country to invest in the private sectors.
Yeah,
So
just to elaborate a little bit, yeah, skill is something that is indispensable in every aspect of a country. So I think, yeah, with that, we have an opportunity because we have seen that Tibet policy was launched a few years ago. I think if we thoroughly, implement that country will be to another direction. If we holistically as well implement the youth policy, is something that is very, very, very crucial. The employment policy. So I think these are the, like I said, beyond the policy, what is out there. So especially the recently launched the recovery focus national development plan. If we implement that as well thoroughly, I think the country will be heading to another direction. I think, yeah, you have mentioned the private sector. I think they have to. Come on board, even though there are little effort which are out there, but we need more robust effort. And yeah, I think that would be really amazing if all these policies are look into it in terms of system thinking implemented to the core. Gambia will be another country in which it will be a sample for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing also, like we sometimes tend to forget also as Gambians also. This is a question that I would like to ask. Also, what do you think is the mentality of the Gambians or the mentality of the Gambian youths towards the development of their country? Because sometimes we just tend to blame the government, and
Mm.
we know there are policies and stuff like that, but then the youths themselves, are they willing to come out? What is their mentality towards national development? Are they even patriotic towards their nation and stuff like that? So I think
Mhm.
these are really things that we also need to mentor the youths on, to know that they really need to love their country, because the countries that we are running to, those people, you will not, they are not come to their citizens and try to manipulate them into leaving their country and stuff like that. So if you will kindly delve into that also, the mentality of the youth.
Yeah, you have touched something that is so dear to my heart. That is patriotism. Like I always say, uh, talking is fine, but what you are doing, the mentality that you have, the love for nation, the love for country, because if government is trying it at one side, the young people also should come and then meet the government hand in hand, and not only meeting them, but also every citizen of this country need to be patriotic regardless of whatsoever. And patriotism start at home, in your street. Yeah, what you're doing. Saying we have to account ourselves for our actions as well. For instance, it is out of patriotism you eat something and throw it out of the street, and you expect your mother or your father, sorry for the language, to come and clean them again. It is very inhumane for a citizen to go and urinate in the street. It is very inhumane for people to clean their house and throw it outside. It's very inhumane for destroying public property. So these are all things that shape someone to be a nationalist. If we look at the trend of the world, everyone is calling for and what is nationalism? Everyone is, looking inward. What can we do collectively as a country, regardless of whatsoever the government is doing? I think the mindset of the young people shapes a nation, and we have seen countries around us comparing our young people to them. Love for nation. They are always eager to know what is happening in this country. Again, one important thing that our young people that are always sad when it comes to that is looking for relevant information. I think there are a lot of misinformation and manipulation in this country. Young people, there is no hidden thing in this generation. If you want to fact check anything, if you want to find out anything, the resources are out there. So you don't expect every person to come and spoon feed you. That cannot be possible. If you want to look out for something to develop yourself, reach out, make connection. But you do not sit at your corner and expect the government to come to you. No, that will not happen. You don't expect as well. You wake up every day sitting at your corner, brewing attire while foreigners are out there, making it in this country. So that cannot be. We are so everything begin with a step, and you believe in what you believe in, work towards it, and the good thing will come. But regardless of whatsoever is happening, even if they are pumping millions, we want to have responsible youths who are, who can manage things, make things happen. That's the kind of youth that we want. We don't want to have youths that will spend a lot of money and then we don't see results. I think the mindset of the young people contributes to national development, I think.
Yeah, that is really important. Just as the saying goes, I think every charity begins at home, and I think everybody needs to love their country, no matter how bad or how worse the situation is. We need to, still love our country, because it is our country. Even if you are in another country, that is not your country. Where you born, where you raised, where your parents are from, this is your country. No matter how bad the economy is, no matter how bad the leaders are, or things like that. I think as youths, these are things that should fuel you and motivate you to even come forward, try to make some changes. And normally it should start from within you from your home, then from outside of your compound, within your community, and us like that until to a national level, and everybody will recognize this effort. I will leave the floor to the host or Conte. You can ask any questions that you have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abokar and Mr. J. I was about to go and sleep because you guys were stealing the show. Anyway, that was okay because I was really enjoying the conversation. In fact, I did not want it to end. You guys mentioned something very, very important, which is mindset. I think when you look at the mindset of youth in the Gambia, it's kind of disappointing to some extent because we like to play the blame game. We always try to blame the government here and there. The government is not doing X. The government is not doing Y to support us. But what are we doing individually as youth of this country to see that something is done to change whatever we feel is not going right in the country? Because we cannot blame our leaders forever, because when you look at it, the leaders come from within us in the first place. So whatever mindset we have is the same mindset anybody who leads us tomorrow is going to have, because they come from us. How we think, how we do anything is the same way they are going to do that. But if we change our mindsets, say, okay, we are responsible for our own future. We are responsible for whatever happens to us in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, because whatever we do reflects on our leadership as a whole. Whatever we are doing is exactly it's not something that just drops from the atmosphere or whatever. The leaders don't come from other countries to come and lead us. They come from the Gambia. They come from our homes and they come from our communities. So as youth, we have to understand that at some point we might be the ones leading this country, and then having the right mindset is very, very important, because at the end of the day, what is going to happen is that when that time comes for us to lead, we are going to go with the same mindset to go and lead the others that might be the ones that will be leading in the future, and then the same trend continues. So we have to really look into ourselves, not just what the government is doing, but what are we doing to make sure that, for example, you talked about littering the streets. So you cannot be blaming the government for not when you go to I was in the Gambia in a few months ago. I was in the Gambia, and then I was impressed to see some trash bins in some areas around the Greater Banjul area, Banjul, KMC. But you see, people are not even using those trash bins. So you will see a trash bin, you pass the trash bin, and you throw whatever you're having on the floor. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. So we cannot, sometimes we cannot blame the government all the time, because the government is there to okay, we know the government might not be doing everything that they are expected to do, but in our little ways, in our own ways, we also have a responsibility towards whatever is happening in the Gambia. So if we know that as youth, and we work towards changing the situation, I think the Gambia is going to be somewhere that everybody is going to live in peace and really enjoy their life in the Gambia. Because it like I said, it has to do with our attitude and towards what we want and towards what we want to change. So anyway, maybe I should not uh, talk forever. I believe that is just enough,
That
and
was
I'm going to
brilliant. That
finish.
was that was brilliant.
Thank you. And
Yeah,
I'm going to okay, Avoka.
yeah. Oh, like you were saying, I think these are really important things, especially the loitering thing that you were saying. Just recently, I was seeing it on Western Gambia. Like those are the gutters that are being constructed. Just this OIC road. If you just see the gutters there, like it just turned out to be this a dustbin where they just
Right.
throw everything is being thrown there. So it's really
Mhm.
sad as a country.
Mm,
And seeing that this mentality and these mindsets are really
mhm,
important and fundamental for youth to change.
mhm.
And this question goes to you, Mr. J. Like, how do you think should we help change these mentalities of the youths? Because we know that these are really important things that we need to really work on as youths. So, how do you think to ensure that these mentalities are being changed for a better nation?
Yeah, I think that is obvious. Like um, if we you know claiming to be a patriotic citizen as we call ourselves, I think anything that has to benefit the country, no one should not even call you. You do it voluntarily, willingly. I think the love for nation starts from the heart.
Mhm.
When they talk about your country, you feel it deep down in your heart and from your toes. I think that is it. Love for country is something that is very divine. I think even in all the scriptures, they have said it. You should love your country. Love your country. I think um, that should not even allow or even the organizations or people to even talk about it.
Mhm.
It has to come naturally to you to
Mhm.
love your country, defend your country. Look, if you look at in some countries, I think before you if you are a youth or you have to serve the military,
Mhm.
and you also like, yeah, there is a obligation for you serving the military at some point. They're
Mhm.
instilling this sense of patriotism, this sense of nationalism for you to, because now the Gambia is the only thing that we have. Look at sorry to bring up this, but look at the people of Palestine. Look at the people of other people who are, serving their country, ready to fight for their country. Fighting starts from your home, your street, okay? Making sure that it is clean, making sure that you protect every property of this country, regardless of whatsoever your authorities are doing. That should not be a justification for you to doing whatsoever you want, or you want to just sabotage or like manipulate people. No, you have a responsibility. If they put trash bin out there, it is your responsibility for you to take what you have eating already the trash to go and put it in the trash bin. You don't expect government to come and tell you, or local council to come and tell you, look, take this and put it in the trash bin. You don't need people to tell you that.
Mhm.
In terms of as well, how do we change? We continuously have to talk. I know it's very annoying to tell people what we say. We have common sense, and then how will you feel being in your nice car, eating and take it outside, throw it outside? That hurts me a lot.
Mhm.
That really, 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 really hurts me. I think in terms of regardless of the limited resources we have, regardless of the challenges that we are facing,
Mhm.
youth must embrace skills training. Youth must embrace mentorship, joining youth organization and leveraging on digital platforms for learning, lifelong learning that can help you.
Mhm.
Now, aside from the government, we all have families. We all belong to families, right?
Mhm.
How would you feel sleeping till the sun is out, okay, or till noon? Your mom is out there putting on
Mhm.
plate, selling,
Mhm.
and you, as a man or you as a youth, sitting, sleeping, waking up saying, "Yeah, boy, analeka or whatsoever." While you
Analyze
should
it.
be passing
Mm.
out there, struggling, you know, put food on the table. But you see, it's the reverse. What
Mhm.
kind of youth do we have, right? Now, let me drive this towards that the aspect of women.
Mhm.
Okay, men sit in Bantaba, women are
Mhm.
in the garden, in the market, right, providing homes, while we are out there only playing games or watching football or whatsoever. So at the end of the day, you talk about, and another aspect that pains me so much is the aspect of solidarity. Gambia, it is time for us to look at each other and tell each other the truth. Now, how many people support Gambian artists? How many people support Gambian businesses? How many people support Gambian products? And we said we are patriotic. We are not, right?
Mhm.
So these are the things, and that, like I said, we should account for ourselves. If
Mhm.
I see Abubakar is selling and is a Gambian made product, I would rather go and buy from another foreigner.
Mhm.
Because of what? I don't want Abubakar to grow. We don't love one another. We don't want to help one another. That
Mhm.
country never go. Look, the government alone cannot do things. Among ourselves, how we live, how we look at one another, that what moves a country. But with these attitudes that we have, even if Barack Obama or like whatsoever, the best president in the world come to the Gambia will still remain the same if these attitudes do not change.
Mhm. Thank you very much for that, Mr. J. I think you mentioned very, 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 very good points for youths to take note of. I believe, I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just something that like you said, I always say this. We Gambians do not support themselves. I don't know. I don't know if Gambians are just scared of each other's growth or envious of another Gambian succeeding. I just don't understand it. Because if you look at it, if you support a Gambian to grow, you are basically supporting yourself because that growth is going to in turn help other Gambians like yourself probably to grow as well. So supporting our own is really really very important. And Gambians, what we do, like you said, is okay. If a Gambian is selling something and then a foreigner is also selling that, we'd prefer to go to a foreigner to get that. I'm not saying that we should compromise quality or value for our money or stuff like that, but as long as the quality and value for our money are the same,
Mhm.
we have to try to support Gambian owned businesses, Gambian owned, whatever is Gambian owned, we should prefer that. I think that is going to go a long way in supporting ourselves
Mhm.
in any way that we can. Awaka, do you have anything to say to add to that
Yeah.
before we move
Oh,
on to the next question?
yeah. I just wanted to just on the point where Bahir was talking about like the patriotism, like these are things that nobody should even tell you as a person.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
sometimes I think as a human being, like especially Gambian, sometimes we tend to forget a lot of things. And I think sometimes our childhood, the way we are brought up, sometimes tend to
Mhm,
influence a lot of things and the way we see our country, and the way we love our country. For
mhm,
example, if you check other countries, like since at your primary school, like they will be teaching you things about things that you should be proud of in your
mhm,
country. How to love your country, how to be proud of
mhm,
your country, how to be patriotic about your country and things like that. Sorry. So I think we should not just say that like these are things that people should not tell you or stuff like that. But I think we also need to implement things like you said, the mentorship programs, like initiatives that can help people. And I think that like mentorship programs are really really important because like they will help you as a person to see the country in a better perspective.
mhm,
I think human beings, we really need a reminder all the time. You need to, remind the people all the time about their responsibilities, their duties as a nation. Because I feel like Gambians, we don't even know our responsibilities towards our country. Most of us don't even know our rights and our responsibilities. We don't know the law. We don't
Mhm.
know, we just wake up, eat, do our things, go back to sleep, watch film. Some Gambians even love the US or other countries more than their country. things like this, I think, are influenced from the grassroots, like from the youth. Like for example, Basir, you are having an academy, the VG Academy. If you look at those kids there, if you mentor them, like if those kids grow up, like they will love their country really much because they have been mentored, since the grassroots. They've been shown things that they should be proud of in their country. So they are really aware. They know the things that they should love about their country. They know the difference between, loving one's country and, supporting another person's country and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, we will not expect those kids to be doing, any wrong thing in the society if they are well mentored and well brought up in the society. And I think these are things that the Gambian youths really need. I think the mentorship is kind of lacking in the country.
Mm.
I think these are programs that really we need to put in place, like especially in schools, primary school or junior school or high school, put in clubs or mentorship programs that can help the youths orient them towards national development. Because sometimes you will even see, like, you go finish your high school, you don't even know what to do, or you don't even
Mhm.
know the area that you should specialize on at the UTG, stuff like that. You just go with the flow. Yes, of your grade is good, you just go to science or computer, things like that. Your grade is bad, you go to another route. So I think these are things that we really need to mentor our youths, mentor them, show them that these are things that every human being or every citizen needs. It's a
Mhm.
duty and a responsibility towards your country, no matter how bad your country is. And also to show the people like the things that they should be proud of. And I think this is where the government also should really come into play here. We we're saying about the responsibilities of the youth, but the government also needs to take responsibilities, because sometimes as a Gambian, if you go out, to be honest, like sometimes see other nations, like here in Morocco, we have different nationalities. If you see some nationalities, the way they are proud of their countries, they are like really ready to come out, showcase their cultures and stuff like that. But us as Gambians, sometimes we tend to relax because we're kind of shy. We don't know what to even present about our country. We don't know what kind of culture to even present to other people. So, these are things, and I think the geography also of the country also should not hold the people. Like the country is a small country, stuff
Mhm.
like that. But I think it should be things that should motivate people to come out, show the people like this is your country. But then, you show people this is your country, and then you don't have things to be proud of in the country. These are really things that I think the government also needs to work on to help the people, especially the cultural aspect and the patriotism, like we were saying. So yeah, these are the areas that I really wanted to talk about. Not just say that like everybody should expect this and this, but then try to put them, show them the way. You, that person, the person who has the experience, show them the way. And I think also our parents also play a role in this. Our brothers and our sisters, the way we are brought up in our society, sometimes that is how we tend to be. If you are brought up in a certain way, you are not being disciplined, or certain values are not instilled in you, you will not have that courage or that patriotism in you as a person. So I think it starts from the grassroots. Yeah, like I'm saying. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avaka. Although I would beg to differ on some points that you raised. Although not really beg to differ, but maybe have
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a discussion, so
perspective
I
on it,
think
because
we need to come out. Yeah.
exactly when you talked about students not having the right mentorship and the right that I want to believe that there are a lot of opportunities for mentorship in the Gambia, unless
Mhm.
you do not. If you're serious about having a mentor or having a coach as a young people in the Gambia,
Mhm.
there are several of them that you mentioned BJ Academy. You have Tough
Mhm.
Leadership Academy. You have a lot of mentorship opportunities in the Gambia that what can get into if you're really serious. Like I said about having a mentor or
Mhm.
having a coach as to you mentioned what to learn maybe when you go to university. Hey, let's be realistic. When you go to the Gambia, almost every senior student, every student in high school has a mobile phone.
Mhm.
So you have your mobile phone, but all you do is on the mobile phone is watch TikTok or Netflix or whatever. I don't know. There are a lot of platforms that you can learn all of the almost everything that you mentioned here is available on the internet. Everything is there on your palm, in your phone. But what you want to do is watch TikTok, make TikTok
Mhm.
videos, you know,
Mhm.
watch Netflix and
Mhm.
all whatnot. So you have to really show interest. Sometimes you also have to show interest in something before people give you the opportunity to do it. Some of us, some people do not. In fact, people we just take what we have for granted. I think that is the problem with some young people in the Gambia, because in fact, if you look at some people that are contributing to national development today, maybe they did not even have all the support at home that you were talking about. Maybe their parents were already old. They could not give them some of these opportunities that they might need. But today, the parents of some people are youth, but those youth themselves were are not you know they do not have that much interest in the development of their children. Sorry to just say that maybe it might come off as something wrong or something, but we also have to look into ourselves, like you said. Okay, the opportunities, yeah, people have we have to there has to be opportunities for young people. But for me, I believe that there are enough mentorship and coaching opportunities in the Gambia for those that are really serious,
Mhm.
because you cannot graduate from the Gambia today at high school
Mhm.
and say you do not know exactly what to do after your graduation. No, no, no. Then you were not serious about what you want to do or about your life, because there are a lot of mentorship programs in the Gambia. I cannot even begin counting them, because I might not know them at the top of my head or something, but
Mhm.
there are a lot. For people that are serious, trust me, there are a lot. We really have to be serious. We have to be serious as youth in the Gambia. We don't have to say, okay, the infrastructure is not there, or this. I'm not supported by my parents. You have a phone. You have data in that phone. There are platforms online that you can go to and learn anything. You talk about the history
Mhm.
of the Gambia, loving your country. How do I know how to love my country? How do I love my country? How do I contribute to this? I am in the science stream. What are the opportunities available for me to do after I graduate from high school? What can I do? Everything is there, trust me. And it's just unfortunate anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Basiru, you can come in. You can
I think
come in.
that's
Because like
right.
like the saying goes, you can take a horse to the river, but you cannot force it to drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like we have a lot of platforms and stuff like that. But then sometimes, as a human being, if you do not tell them like this is the function of this and this. For me, I can have my phone, I can only be on YouTube or doing other stuff where I don't even know how to even use my phone to engage in other stuff because I'm not aware of it. I don't even know whether it's available or not. Even these mentorship programs, like for me, like to me, the mentality that I have is Gambia, we don't have enough mentors. I know I'm aware of some mentorship programs, but like the way I was saying it, like we have a lot. Like I'm not aware of it like that. So I don't know whether it's because of
Yeah.
the way they publicize it or the way they advertise it is not enough or stuff like that. That is why I was saying like we enter into the schools like from the primary to high school, like you know sensitize the people, publish these mentorship programs, help encourage them to come. Sometimes I think you have to go out to the people and encourage them to come so that
Yeah,
this.
there's a lot going on in this country.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of, I think, people, because we have the media out there,
Mhm.
showcasing on a lot of the things that are happening on the ground. There
Mhm.
are a lot of things that are happening, which is not in the eye of the public. I think it is the responsibility of those people reaching out to the media houses, or the media houses going there and showcasing and the beautiful part of what is happening. At times, like I said, access to information is a problem. So mentorships are programs are out there. I think for us, this has even helped us with the Youth Connect Circle that we have in terms of information, in terms of jobs that are available or any kind of training, and people have been applying to make it happen. I think people with big followers, I think they're not interested in most of the beautiful things that are happening in this country, but rather the news that depicts the negative part of the country. That's the only thing that they're interested most of the time. Not all the media, but most of the time, that's what they're interested in. But there are, regardless of the challenges we have, the struggles that the young people are facing, but there are good things out there in which, as a country, we can be proud of.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think you guys that are in the country, for me personally, like I have been away from the country for almost 5 years now. I came to Morocco. I'm doing my bachelor. Did my bachelor's now. I'm doing my masters in my final year now. Um, just another question also, which is regard to the youth and the students that I would like to also ask. Like, what advice do you have for the youths that are like outside of the country and are not willing to go back to the country to work for their government at this moment because of they feel like they will not achieve what they want in the country and stuff like that. Do you have any advice for these youths?
I think that's a personal choice. I have to be very honest with you. For whatsoever reason, the passing one, we have to be honest to one another. I will not. The only advice I will have is, regardless of where you are, uh, be loyal to your country. In the loyal aspect, I'm not saying you should not come back or you should stay or whatsoever. The loyal aspect that I'm saying, regardless of wherever you are, love your country. So whether you are in the US, in Morocco, working there, you know, you are in other way contributing to the national development because your remittances in which you are sending back home, it contributes to our economy. So
Exactly.
regardless of whichever decision is your personal choice, you know your family situation, you know your professional goals, you know what you want to become in the few years. If you want to come back to the country, that's your personal choice. If you want to stay there, it's your personal choice. So I think that's the answer that I will give. I will not deprive anyone from um, coming to the Gambia, or I will not deprive anyone from going outside for greener pasture. I think regardless of whichever way you take or you took, be loyal to your country. Yeah, regardless of you are in the US working, you have a good heart for your country. That's what I'm saying. If you are in Morocco working, you have a good heart for your country. That's the kind of patriotism that I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so wherever you are, have the ultimate goal of returning back to your country and helping,
Yeah,
or
and then
wherever
invest
you
in
are,
your
still help
country.
your country. Yeah.
Yeah, and invest as well.
Yeah. Yes, our.
Exactly, exactly. I think deciding whether you want to go to the Gambia or stay somewhere else, it I think it's a personal choice anyway. Like Mr. J said, because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you know what you can do where you are, and you know what you can do in the Gambia. Yes, we want people to come to the Gambia and contribute to the national development. But what if you staying where you are helps you better in doing that? So you have to look at what works, not just being in the Gambia physically is not, it's not what people want. That is not the ultimate goal. What the ultimate goal is to actually contribute to national development. So what if you go back to the Gambia and you cannot do that anymore? We also have to be realistic, in terms of your own personal responsibilities. Or
Mhm.
anyway, we have to weigh both to see what really works. You cannot say that everybody has to go back to the Gambia. Do Gambia
Mhm.
even have that that capacity to to to
Yeah.
to 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 have every Gambian in the Gambia. That definitely cannot work.
If we don't have the capacity, we can create it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Really.
let's create the capacity first then, because I cannot say I am leaving my work. For example, if I'm
That's
working
right.
in Morocco, I cannot say I'll abruptly leave my work in Morocco and go to the Gambia and then create the capacity. That is
Yeah.
risky. That is definitely risky. It's a risk that it's not really worth taking. But
Yeah.
like you said, the ultimate goal is probably, if you're sure that at a particular point in time you can go back to the Gambia to contribute to national development. That is okay, as long as you will contribute to national development. Fine, that is okay. For
I
me,
think
that is
wherever you are, also you can still contribute to national development if you
Yeah,
want
exactly,
as a person. Yeah, because
that's
exactly.
right.
the foreign remittances that enter in the country are really contributing to the economy. Like we have more than
Mm-hmm.
$100 billion that are entering in the country every year.
Mm-hmm.
Most
So
definitely.
I think having Gambians outside of the country also is really important. And other governments even encourage things like this. And I think
Hmm.
that is what the Gambia also is working on with Spain and Saudi Arabia to
Hmm.
help send some Gambians outside to go and study, to go and work and stuff like that. So I think the ultimate goal is to send back some money and to help your people, and that way also you contribute to the economic development. Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
any question, you can continue.
Yes, Mr. J, I am going to ask one final question before
Mm-hmm.
we move to the Q&A from our viewers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that is, what is your vision for the future of youth development in the Gambia?
Like I said, the vision that I always have, that is that I always have, like I said, I want to see a young people who are active drivers of change. I
Mhm.
envision a future where youth are not just beneficiaries but active drivers of national development. A Gambia where every young person has access to quality education. I mean, quality education, employment, and opportunities that lead, to lead and then innovate. I think I envision for every Gambian to believe in your potential, take action and support one another. National development is a shared responsibility, and every effort, no matter how small, counts. Uh, Let us keep pushing forward and never stop striving for positive change. I think that's what I envision, um, the vision that I have for this country.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. J. That is a visionary vision, I'll say. Anyway,
Thank you.
I think it is time to check the questions that we have from our various platforms from our
Okay.
viewers.
All right.
Abubakar,
Yeah. So let me check the questions. Here we have Cersise. Thank you, Mr. J. We have Happy Independence Day.
happy Independence Day to you as well.
Yeah. So Cersise is saying like seeing the current situation of our country, youth leaving the country through the Atlantic Ocean in search of greener pasture. Um,
Is
he
there a
said,
question?
while we understand the government cannot provide jobs for everyone, it can create conditions that enable people to secure decent employment. So his question is, what are some of the measures you think the government could implement to improve livelihood opportunities for the youth?
I think, yeah, he talks about as well migration, which is a
Yeah.
very, um, I say, pertinent issue that that is a current discussion in the world. So, regardless of whatsoever we are
Mhm.
facing as a country, I think one of the key things that the government must strengthen the institutionalization of youth representation in policy making, by creating more spaces for young people, to participate in governance. I think uh, if we have that, that could help because, in my own personal opinion, I think if I were the thing that I love, like my wish is to separate the Ministry of Youth and Sport and take employment from the Ministry of Trade and give it to Ministry of Youth and Employment and have sports to stand alone. Because regardless of the small budget that we have, the issues of as they claim all the time, the issue of young people is cross-cutting. Yeah, fine, but it requires people who are directly responsible for the affairs of the youth to manage the affairs of the youth. Because if you look at the Ministry of Youth, they are the policy making. It's youth sector and sports sector, and that ministry have one of the smallest budget, right? And that person should run the affairs of the highest chunk of the Gambia's population, and again run the affairs of the sports sector while having a small budget. So it will be a very um, cumbersome to respond to the aspiration and needs of the young people. Another aspect as well, taking employment to youth, that is very important. And other things, yeah, I must confess that there are good programs that are happening, which are very, small. It needs scaling up. I know partners are helping a lot in terms of, you know, helping, but the biggest challenge that also the Gambia young people face is, as you mentioned, unemployment, limited access to education, lack of funding for startups. Though there are initiatives that are happening, but they are inadequate. So government alone cannot do it. Social issues such as gender inequality, potential, political exclusion also hinder youth progress. So what I'm saying is there should be a partnership between government and also its people, because this requires a holistic approach. Gambia is we are in the global south countries, so we require partnership for the young people, not only for the young people, but also government having creating the level playing field for the young people. The young people also working hand in hand with the government, the private sector also coming on board. I think that can help to create initiative that can able to, enabling environment for every young person to have a decent job, to also create more bilateral relationship outside for us to export skills. Yeah, I think that's the message that I want to, or these are the answers and solutions that I think that can help in terms of creating an enabling environment or measures that can help the government to improve livelihood opportunities for you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mr. J. And
Thank you.
I really hope that this message reaches the government so they could, you know, implement some of these that you've mentioned here. Obaka,
Like,
can you share the next question, or you want to say something?
I just wanted to what Basiro was saying. I was even surprised when I saw the budget on the Ministry of Youth having a very low budget, compared to other ministries. Like,
Yeah,
the
sadly.
population that represent majority, like the larger percentage of your country, like, or the economy, having a very low budget. Sometimes it's really worrying as a country. I don't know. I
Eh,
was even wondering whether the budget was made by the Ministry of Youth and Sport, then they sent it, or was it made by another institution? So the next question is from Aliu Jan.
Mhm.
mhm.
He said, are there any tech hubs specifically designed for empowering youth innovators, guiding them from the spark of an idea all the way to a successful growth? So, from a
Um,
startup to a successful growth.
no, we have, when it comes to this aspect, we have incubators, incubation hubs, and then tech hubs that are existing in this country. But the only thing that the government is doing, and then other stakeholders, is to guide you towards the process of reaching that growth process. So what we can do is to give you the resources, connect you to international market, and then link you with international investors. I can call on the startup incubator, is doing a really amazing job. If you look at the iTag as well, the hub, the Youth Connect. If you look at NEDI in terms of entrepreneurship, um, okay, let me talk about some of the things that the Youth Connect has done over the past. We have a Youth Creative Lab, okay, but we are specifically targeting. That's why we usually have our Youth Connect Summit for startups to pick their business idea. Through that as well, uh, we give them funds. At the end of the day, we take them from the Gambia to the international market for them to meet their other entrepreneurs outside, for them to have deal rooms, connect with international investors. Just last year in November, we took over 8 young entrepreneurs who are from the Gambia. We pay their air ticket, we give them allowances, with support from partners. We also, they were sent for a market accelerator where they have a boot camp master classes for with other entrepreneurs. They were also having a booth where most of them sold out their items, and then uh, 2 of them were able to pitch their business to international investors, which they gain over the past years as well. Every year we can mention people like Fika Fall, Omar Balde, who is Chopstar. We also have Dex. We have Salimato Sano from Gisco. These are the some of the examples that we can give. Yes, we help them partnering with different other stakeholders, because at every step of the passing, who is that's what we can do. We don't have the means to support someone from the ideation stage to the growth level, but what we can do to provide the support, connect you with things that are happening, connect you with the market, with businesses, with your other counterparts, for you to able to lead to that level. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is really, really important and really good. And it's a great opportunity for the country. And I think as time goes on, it will develop and help more and more people to come. I think what
Yeah.
you were doing, was it the one you went to in Rwanda or?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yes, or
Just, I mean, just to add to that, I think,
as a technical student
um,
or different
no, no, no. As a computer science student,
computer
not
science student.
as
The
a
Rwanda
technical
aspect.
student. So, but Mr. J, were you saying something?
Yeah, sorry. I'm having local calls. That's why I'm getting distracted. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I was just saying that what you're doing is really important, and we also have to know that as youth, we cannot. I'm not being a pessimist here, but we cannot expect everything to be handed to us like spoon feeding. As long as you're doing something, we have to start something. It's not You have to have something going because before you are able to get support, and you also have to know that you cannot get support from start to finish. So you have to do what you can to do something, to start something. So in fact, you cannot even receive support or funding or stuff like that if you're not doing anything. People have to see that you're doing something before they're able to fund you. And you also have to understand that there are a lot of youths. So we say that the Gambia's population is made up of more youths than other components of the population. So there are a lot of people like you who would want to get that kind of support or that kind of funding. So for me, what I would say to you is to be good at what you do. Whatever you do, be passionate about it. Make sure you are doing well at it. You are doing well at it. You are good at it. Because you have a lot of competition, you have a lot of youths, and everybody cannot be giving an opportunity at the same time. So, when you talk about pitching competitions, you know there are a lot of youths that you're going to find there. So
Mhm.
what you do is start something and not just start it, but be good at it. Make sure with wherever you go with something, you have the potential to gain support and to gain funding and whatnot.
Mhm. That's right.
Yes.
That's very right.
Yeah, that's very important. Just recently, I was at this place, the Casablanca stock market. They were explaining something like that because for me, I was thinking like they mostly deal with foreign currencies, like the way the major stock exchange markets work. But then for them, like basically the way they work is like if they see that you're having a potential project and you're unable to fund the project and they know that this project will be really beneficial for the country and for the economy of the country, then they will link you with an investor that will invest and then they will also have a percentage on that. Or if they say that a business is able to you're producing but you have a higher demand, like your demand, the demand of your product is more than what you can produce, and you are unable to produce all the demands that you are having, they can also link you with investors that can help you inject more money and help you out, produce more for your customers and so. So I think these are things that are really important for any economy and for any country. So like you said, sometimes if you come with a fresh idea, it's difficult to have sponsorship and stuff like that. You first have to be a startup, start something, then they can invest in it. But sometimes also, I think like it depends on the idea. If the idea is really good and you think that you as an investor, you know that this thing is will be really beneficial for the country, you can invest and also guide the person so that you will not lose your money. So yeah. Moving on to the next question. I think it's from Idris Sanya. Um,
I believe.
yeah.
Okay, Idrisa is saying, do you think that the reason or one of the reasons for we as Gambians not supporting each other is as a result of the competitive mentality that we were given as kids during early school days? We were normally forced to take first positions in class or to be better than their colleagues in the same community. And what can we do to mitigate or put an end to such mentality? I'm not sure if you were following the entire question because it's kind of long.
Yeah.
Basically, he's saying,
Yes. Mhm.
yeah, basically he's saying whether you think that the reason we are not supporting each other as Gambians is because of the competitive mentality that we had, growing up, going to school, competing for first place here and there, and how do you mitigate such mentality?
Um, yeah, I want to say that is wrong as well. Maybe in so like with some people, that's the mentality that they have. But one thing I can say for sure, no, everyone can rise without tearing one another down. We we are destined to do everything at our own time at our own moments. If you believe in Allah and then in believing whatsoever you're doing, obviously don't compete. Competition is for the low class people, but those at the top, they collaborate. If I know Abu Bakar is good at something, that's my interest, let me collaborate with Abu Bakar to try to be competent in that area. If our is competent in doing that, let me not be shy to collaborate with our. At the end of the day, it might yield something that is very important. Buying from a, a Gambian will help that person. your heart, will lead you to so many things. But if you have that competitive mind, that someone who does not wish to share or does not want to collaborate, obviously you might not go far, because there is something in your subconscious mind that is limiting you to learn new things, trying to collaborate, because you don't know it all. You are not an island. You need people. No one is indispensable on the face of the earth. Only God who is indispensable. And we know excellence and perfection belongs to Allah, no one else. No one is perfect, no one is excellent. We all learned, we make mistake, we rise up. That's the only thing that I can say. I think these
Oh,
are some of the things
you want to know? I'm on live. I'm telling
that
you.
can make use the
You're coming. If
mentality
you, I'm asking if
of
you come out of the video.
whatsoever you are facing,
You see a
whatsoever.
video in live stream.
I think there's a little bit nice out there. Yes, I think like what I'm saying, regardless of who you are, whatsoever you are doing, be content and believe in yourself. That emotions of being audacious, I think that is self belief. That is one thing towards self belief. Yeah.
Exactly. I think you did justice to that question. I mean, you cannot say because maybe when I was a kid, I used to compete with X to take to be the first in the class or something. When you meet at a professional level, it's not school anymore. It's not being a kid going to school anymore. You obviously you will need something from him or her, and he or she will need something from you. Like you said, no man is an island at all. So collaboration, well, it's really important. And then uh nobody has every skill set that you need to do to achieve something. It's like, for example, you are in the tech sector, and you know uh, now AI is here, and you do not want to learn about AI, or because you think AI is now coming to take your job from you. So you're even going to make it easier for AI to take your job, because instead of learning about AI and helping it to grow and ensure that you have the exact skill set needed for AI to not be able to replace you. If you run away from it, you are just going to make it easier for you to be replaced. So I think what you can do is try to learn about it and equip yourself enough to stand on your own without AI, or to not be replaced by it. In fact, you cannot even stand on your own without AI. I mean, in today's world, in the tech field, it's definitely very difficult. But when you know how AI works, or when you are able to use AI to make yourself more productive and more efficient, it comes in handy and it helps you a lot. I'm just trying to create a link, not trying to, bring you to all take it or something. Anyway, Abaka, we can move on to the next question, I think.
Yeah. So the next question
Yeah.
is from Mohammed.
I want to plead. I think if we can wrap up a little bit, yes, I have some
Yeah, yeah.
urgent things to do.
We can.
Yes.
I think we just left with this question. Yeah, Mohammed John. Most of these questions are from him. Should the government do more to involve youths in policy making? And his other question is, what is your vision for Gambian youth in national development? I think we have you have answered this question,
Mhm.
and yeah,
I believe you have answered this
yeah,
question.
yeah. And here he's saying, despite the efforts, corruption, bureaucracy, and lack of opportunities to hinder youths, what is the biggest obstacle to youth government collaboration, and what solutions can be addressed? Or can we
Can
use to
address.
address the?
Mm.
Um, just well, okay. Biggest obstacle to youth government collaboration. I think that is I've said it earlier. One thing that is I think is trust. Trust is really a stumbling block, because naturally, as young people, collaboration starts with trust and engagement. I think the government will prioritize youth participation in policy making, while youth must also take initiative, propose solution, and actively participate in national discussion. You know, I always say this: if you can point out a problem, I would expect you to point out a solution. Engagement between the government and then the young people. How can we discuss, right? And how can you follow? That will help the government to think, oh yeah, they know what they're saying, they are following up and whatsoever. I think um, that is one thing that can help the or like cement the bond between the young people and also the government. I think trust is an like it is an obstacle, and if you have someone who is easily being manipulated, like a youth who is not informed, you can always be someone who is always having a skeptical mind to work with the government, right? If I know that, okay, I have a solution, try. Do not always be at your own corner. Join them, help them in certain things. If you have tried and it's not working, walk away, right? But I think get involved in community service and advocacy, take advantage of available trainings and national programs, network with other young people, especially policymakers, leverage on digital platforms like our has said it, to amplify your voice and initiative. I think stay connected, be oriented solution, and never underestimate the power of collaboration. Change takes time. To be honest, I will not give you an unrealistic idea. Change takes time, but with consistency and the right networks, young leaders can make a lasting impact. Like you know, be involved, be present. I think that will know that okay, that person is productive, that person is contributing a lot towards this country. How can I collaborate with government? If you have initiative, bring it up on board. You know, if you have projects, bring it on board. Like I said, there are so many initiatives out there which partners are funding, government are funding. You know, it requires for you to get the right information for for that thing to happen.
Yeah, thank you so much for answering that question. I think it is well answered. This one is from Mablagnima. Carrying the country's culture has more to do with the citizens' responsibility than it does the government. Like you said, us, the Gambians, are very relaxed on issues that have to do with culture and what we do. In brackets, we do have a lot to show and what to offer. So I think this was on the point where we were talking about the culture and stuff when she
Yeah,
commented. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. I
Uh,
think that is
mm,
something that is very important. Culture is very linked to a particular country. That shows your identity. That speaks for your country. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, so this is Mohammed John. I'm here. You have Fatnjai. The ultimate goal is to contribute to national development wherever you. I think yeah, she was quoting from our comments and um yeah, Mohammed John again. Mohammed John is just firing us with questions. What is your vision for the? Yeah, I think we answered that. And yeah, yeah. So the next one, Nima again. That mentality is healthy. Being competitive and being selfish are two different things.
It's a
So
different
I
thing.
think she was
Exactly.
referring
Yeah.
to being competitive
I
and
I agree. I totally agree. I totally
yeah.
agree.
So yeah, I think these are the questions, Mohammed John. I think we answered this. Should the government do more to involve youth in policy making?
Yeah, I've answered that.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have here. You have any final question for Mr. J?
I
Because
believe I believe I already asked my final question. And
yeah,
seeing that Mr. J has other engagement, and I think we can end the
yeah.
questions for now.
Let me just ask him my final question, and then we can
Okay,
end the call.
no problem.
Yeah. So my final question is like, if you could give your younger self any piece of advice, what would it be? Just for us younger
Um,
generation to learn
I
from it.
think I said it earlier. Stay connected, be solution oriented, and never underestimate the power of collaboration. I always say this. Be visible whatsoever. Just to connect to the question of Mohammed John, those who are disengaged, engage, be engaged. Okay? Be engaged, be visible. You have your social media platforms. Showcase what you're doing. Speak out, collaborate, network, reach out to people. You know, that's the advice that will tell you. Engage
Mm,
in lifelong learning. Even myself, I'm learning every day. Get useful information that will help you. Have skills. You know, at the end of the day, you'll stand out. Because if I have bachelor's degree and I don't have any skill, someone has bachelor's degree, the same bachelor's degree, and that person has skill, I would rather take the person with a skill and a bachelor's degree. So
Mhm,
those who are out there as well, skill is something that is very important.
mhm,
Have skill regardless whichever field in which you are. AI is coming. It is here. Whether you like it or not,
yeah.
it is, yes, it is
It's
a
coming for
revolution
us. Yeah. It's the
in the
future.
job market. Whether you accept it or not, AI is
Mhm.
here. Other countries are thinking how to work with AI, or they are another level. For us, we are at the level of whether we accept it or not. Other countries have moved on,
Other
right?
countries
exactly.
already accepted it and put it as a family now.
Exactly. So AI is here to enhance our work.
Yeah.
So utilize it. You know,
Mm.
that's what I always say. They are here to enhance our work. So try and learn more AI tool and use it to your advantage. So do not be someone who is reluctant to accept change. The, these are my final words, and thank you so much for having me here, Awa and Abubakar. I am really grateful, and to the executive of GAMSA, I am really grateful to being here, and everyone who is out there watching, living your own time. I'm really grateful.
Thank you so much, Mr. J. I think the session has come to an end, and it was really an interesting and insightful session.
Thank you.
We wish to continue, but then time is not on our side. What I
Today is
would
my
just plead
birthday.
with you, what I would just plead with you is like, since you have more connections, you're more engaged in the government, like especially as a youth leader, like if you have any opportunities or any links that you can share with us as students that are outside of the country, that will be highly appreciated, and we will find a way to collaborate with the youth council there in the Gambia as youths to contribute to our national development. Yes, our
Thank
any final words, then you can give your closing remarks and we can call it a day. Thank you.
Um, yeah, thank you very much, Mr. J, for sharing such valuable insights with us today. As we celebrate the Gambia's 60th independence anniversary, we hope that this conversation reminds us of the future of our nation. We hope that it reminds us that the future of our nation lies in our hands, and that we are the ones that can do what we want to do to make sure we get what we want, or see the Gambia that we want to see in the near future. I
you.
think development is a shared responsibility, and each of us has a role to play, whether we are in the Gambia or outside the Gambia. So, as Gambian students in Morocco, we think this in fact is one way we can contribute to national development. And to everyone that joined us today, thank you very much for joining and being so patient with us. I think it's been like an hour and 45 minutes, but anyway, we hope that I hope that we take what we've learned here today and turn it into action, whether it is through innovation, whether it is through advocacy, or whether it is community service. In our own little ways, let's put it into action and do what we can for the Gambia. On behalf of GASAM, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you and our viewers. May we continue to strive for excellence and push our nation forward. Happy Independence to everyone, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy Independence.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mr. Vijay. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.